Hi there, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, there it goes. I think I'm live. And let me just put the tweet up really quick. Welcome to Pokemon Watercolors here at VGM Together. I'm super excited to be here. Whoops, 1 second. I think my connection's going through. There we go. My name is Katie. I'm a watercolor artist. And I paint mostly Pokemon, but a couple other things as well. And I was invited to be a part of this super cool event. Oh, there's the chat. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. I think I can see you guys. No? Maybe not. Tech, am I live right now? Okay, I'm just gonna operate as though I am live. So I've got a scene that I've set up today of not all but many of the world's most musical Pokemon. Ah, here we go. Okay, sweet. So we've got Maractus, the little known, little loved cactus Pokemon. Down here on the left, we've got Loudred, which is known for its stereo abilities. We've got Meloetta, the pop star mythical Pokemon, and Jigglypuff, of course, who could forget. We've got Chatot in the upper left, Chingling in the middle, and Chimecho on the far right. I wasn't able to fit every single musical Pokemon in here, but here's who we've got. And I've got a beautiful soundtrack playing in the background. You guys can see the artists hopefully displaying on the screen. So let's just jump in and start painting. I'm only here for half an hour, so please throw any questions you have into the chat, and I will do my best to answer. Alright, Maractus is this beautiful light green, and she's got sort of pine green accents. But we're going to start with the lightest color, which is traditional knowledge. It holds that this is the best way to do watercolors. Start with your lightest bits of paint and work your way down to the dark ones. So that's what we're going to be doing here. I don't think I'll be able to finish this whole thing during the panel today, but I will do my best. Alright, so here's all the soft green. And it'll take a couple minutes to dry per layer that I put down here, so we'll be kind of working our way around the picture everywhere. Alright. And the ears are also this nice light green. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And this other ear is also light green. There we are, and the last thing last will be the face. Maractus sort of looks like a bunny cactus. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm having a little technical issue on my end. Tex, am I live right now? I am not able to see the chat or anything.
you are live.
I am?
Yeah, you're still online.
Huh, okay. I'm not able to see the chat on my end. It's showing something completely different.
Oh, well, there are people talking in chat, so...
Oh, there we go. I think it's popping up now. I'm not able to see my video, but I do see people talking in the chat.
Alright. Glad everything's going okay.
I'm on the main VGM Together Twitch, correct?
Yes, you're VGM Together too.
Oh, 2. I'm looking in the wrong place then, that's why.
Yep.
Thank you for your help.
VGM Together without the 2 is the music stream. Hi chat, I'm Tech. I'm not here. Ignore me.
Thank you for being here, actually. I was in some pain.
No problem at all.
Okay, there we go. If people asked questions or anything like that, I'm finally able to see you. I'm here. I'm alive. It wouldn't be an event if there weren't little slip-ups like this, right?
Indeed.
Okay, cool. I'm jumping back into it. Let me just update my Twitter really quick with the correct link.
Alright. Enjoy VGM Together, chat. There's some very good Pokemon. As a Pokemon fan, I'm very pleased.
I'm glad. Oh man. Okay, sweet. Let's get back to it.
Alright.
Got it.
I'll let you get to it. See ya.
Thank you. See you later. Oh dear. Okay. Hi everyone. Well, I'm glad you've been able to hear me even if I haven't been able to see you. Alright, next we're gonna jump into doing the colors on Chatot. Tech saves the day. Hello, Sean VGM. Hello, Danny. Hello, Bruno. Hello, Dusky. Nudge. Everyone's here. Drum's here. Good to see you all. Gosh, I can't tell you the weird feeling of not being able to see the chat, but knowing you guys were there and wondering where you were. It was very lonely. I'll never take my chat for granted again. So Chatot is a cool Pokemon that has a lot of different colors on its body that I never really noticed before. It's got this navy blue, it's got green, it's got a pink beak, a white ruff, yellow toes, a little yellow bib. There's kind of a lot going on there, so... Oh man, this music is so good. Alright, Chingling, that's an easy one. Chingling is all yellow. Hey Vapsauce, how are you? Oh man. Ooh, we've got Lavender Town coming in hot. This is one of the ones I enjoyed the most when I was listening through the beautiful playlist that was put together for me for this event. Really like this one. So for Chingling, we're gonna mix up sort of a golden yellow color. I don't want it to be like too highlighter yellow because Chingling is supposed to be based off of a bell, which is sort of bronze or golden. There we go, looking good, Chingling. I don't think I've talked about this on stream before, but I actually have kind of a familial history with brass instruments. Both my dad and my mom were professional musicians. They both studied French horn in college, and my dad pursued it lifelong as a career, and he teaches French horn at a university now and plays in different symphonies. So I have quite a history with brass, going to a lot of concerts as a kid and learning a lot about the instrument. I never picked it up myself, but I can always pick it out in a song these days. Alright, let's see what we have. Oh, happy birthday, Vapsauce, I'm so glad. 2 French horn players, wow, I know, crazy, right? They met at university. Nautilus Party says, is starting out with these solid colors my typical approach, or do I also do light washes of watercolors, or is it a case of it depends? This is pretty much my typical approach right here. I start out with bright, solid colors, do a little bit of shading, and just go from there. Will you play Pokemon music on the kazoo today? Hey, Art. No kazoo today. That would be a savage betrayal to the heart of this event, which is good music. I do not think I could do such a thing with so many talented musicians in the room. For those of you who aren't a part of my normal channel, I have an uncle with quite a sense of humor. And my uncle sent my family a box of cheap, terrible quality kazoos for Christmas. Oh man, this music is so good. So we got these horrible, horrible kazoos, and of course we all pulled them out Christmas morning and started playing them. And they're just the worst. I mean, even a good kazoo has a funny sound to it, right? It's a funny instrument, but these are just the worst. And my kazoo is jeans patterned. It's like denim, so we call it the jazoo, which is a combination of jeans and kazoo. And people can pay channel points on my channel to hear a horrible little kazoo song on the jazoo. Because ideally a good kazoo you don't have to blow very hard, right? And you get that nice fun buzzy sound. But the jazoo you pretty much have to scream into to get any reaction out of it. It's a good time. Alright, we've got Jigglypuff here. I almost didn't have room to fit in Jigglypuff. I was feeling a little melancholy about it, but when I finished doing the line art for this piece, I realized I could just jam her right in on top of Loudred's head, so... Hey Boulder Dash, how are you? Danny Music says, that's awesome, horn is very hard too. Yes, so I hear. Nundalo says, this is so cool, I don't really know much about art, but is it the borders that prevent the watercolor from spilling over? And if so, what's used to make that happen? That's a great question. So the borders in this case are also just watercolor, and it doesn't prevent the watercolor from spilling out, it just sort of helps me know where to stop the brush. But what's cool about watercolor paper is that it's not the same as ordinary paper. Like if you get a sketchbook from the store, it won't do what you want it to do. It won't accept the watercolor paint very well, and you'll notice it kind of slipping and sliding all over the page, and that's because it doesn't contain what's called sizing. I mean, all paper has a little bit of sizing, but watercolor paper has a lot of sizing. And sizing is basically a goop that gets put into the paper during the process of creating the paper. And it basically what it does is when I'm painting right now, you see I draw this nice thin line and it doesn't spread out, right? It stays exactly where I put it, even though it's wet paint, because sizing kind of lets the paper soak up the liquid that I'm putting down and hold it in place. So if you were to grab a piece of printer paper and try to do watercolor paint on it, you'd see it spreading everywhere. So I notice a lot of people who are new to watercolor get stuck on that because they don't have the right paper, so they think they're a bad painter because the paint is going everywhere. But it's just because the paper's not right. So, and this paper in particular has a lot of sizing and it has a lot of texture and tooth to it. So, oh, this music's great. It has a lot of tooth to it, and it's what's called cold press watercolor paper. So there's two different types of watercolor paper, hot and cold press, and the name, just like it suggests, has to do with the way that it's processed. So hot press, they, once they're done creating the paper, they put it under a very hot, very heavy press to flatten it out, and it basically works like an ironing board and makes it super, super smooth. And that paper has a little more likelihood for the paint to slip and slide all over the place. But if you get cold press, it's the same type of press, but it's cold and it doesn't push as hard, so it leaves this sort of bumpy, natural texture in the paper, which does a really good job of holding paint. So that's my really long-winded explanation of what's going on here. Oh man. Oh, let me catch up on the chat. This is so satisfying to watch, says Rahul. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Boulder says, I made her suffer on the Jazoo last time. Flight of the Bumblebee. Yes, I tried very hard to play Flight of the Bumblebee on the kazoo. It was terrible. It's porous. Yes, exactly. Fascinating watercolor facts. Yep, that's exactly it, Bonus Josh. You're so welcome, Nundaloos. Rahul says, novice question, is there a specific order you're going with what parts you paint on each Pokemon, or is it just the primary color? Basically what I'm doing right now is just the primary color for each Pokemon, and I'm jumping all over the place because even though the paper has sizing, there is one horrible, nasty little thing that watercolor paper will do, or watercolor will do, is that if you have two wet pools of watercolor that are touching one another, they will start to seep into one another because water naturally wants to meet with other water and mingle. So I'm making sure that when I paint these flat colors in, that they're not touching each other until they're dried. So you'll notice all of these primary patches are not quite touching, except for Chingling's foot and Jigglypuff's head. I took a little risk there that I probably shouldn't have. So that's kind of the process. I just jump around making sure each patch has enough time to dry. And you might notice here I'm using little clumps of paper towel. This is just normal paper towel from the grocery store. And it's very useful if you put the layer down too thick, you can just pat it with a paper towel and soak it up a little bit. Sean VGM says, your painting technique is so satisfying to watch. Well, thank you. I'm glad you like it. I don't do watercolor, but I did have to sit for a lot of watercolor paintings. You soak up art stuff like watercolor paper. Oh, that's funny. This is a great segment to see. Hope you're having fun, says Super MC Gamer. I am. Thank you so much. Reminds me of working in quadrants for oil paintings. Yes, exactly. Very similar approach. I did some oil painting in college, but I think, and I really like it. I really like oil paint, but I think what has always been difficult for me about oil paint is that it's so toxic. See, for those of you who don't do painting, oil paint is a beautiful, fun medium to work in, but it'll kill you. It'll kill you dead. So you have to wear gloves when you paint with it. You have to work in a well-ventilated space. You have to make sure you use special chemicals to clean it down the sink and off your hands and everything. So what's cool about watercolor is it's very hard to poison yourself with. Very, I mean, it's technically toxic, but you'd have to eat a whole bunch before you got sick. Very easy to transport and everything, so. Alright, there's Chimeco and this nice bright coat of blue. Feel free to throw any more questions you have about watercolor for me in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. Especially since I think I probably missed some answers earlier while I was having, or questions earlier when I was having technical difficulties. Oh man. Love this jazz cover. Yes, and it takes forever to dry, exactly. Yep, makes sense, Bonus Josh. I've still got my big container of oil paints from college, but haven't used it in a long time. Pleasant toxic memories. Oh man. There are a lot of things, though, that you cannot do in watercolor that you can only do in oil paint, so I might pick it back up again someday when I have the proper space to work in. Alright, here's Chimeco's big long tail. I don't know if everyone's familiar with the type of wind chime that Chimeco is based off of, but you see them all over the place in Japan, and they really do look just like Chimeco. It's pretty neat. They're a fun little souvenir to bring home as well if you ever get the chance to visit. Oh man, Art, that sounds like a mess. I hope you wear gloves and stuff. You gotta protect yourself. Alright, sweet. Got this layer down. Whoops, I guess you guys can't really see the top of Chimeco's head. I'll slide the paper down just a little bit. There we go, looking good. Oh, it's really interesting, painting with a timer. I think we can do Loudred next. Hey, Lonely Tuatara, how's it going? Okay, Loudred time. So Loudred's an interesting Pokemon in that it has really inconsistent official art. So Loudred technically is supposed to be a blue Pokemon with a purple shiny, but for some strange reason a lot of its official art makes it look like a kind of violet or purple colored Pokemon already. So if you look at the different sprites and the official, you know, reference art from different generations, you'll see a lot of odd inconsistencies. I'm gonna do mine sort of a, I don't know what you'd call this, indigo, I suppose? Kind of the best of both worlds. There we go, looking cute. Oh man, I love this cover. I'm a huge jazz fan. I don't really know a lot of people who like jazz in my life, though. It's sad. I have jazz-tolerant people in my life. So that's something, right? Yes, thank you so much, Nick's Mad Science, for putting together this awesome little video of music. It's a great mix. Art says, lacquer paint is so toxic I have to use a respirator, and it's also very corrosive. Ooh, ouch, ouch, ouch. Be extra careful. Hey Akemi, how's it going? Just thinking of Chatot the other day. You know what I realized? I don't know if anyone in the chat here is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon fans, but I realized when I was putting this picture together that in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Darkness, Time, and Sky, you join the guild, and in the guild, the leadership is almost entirely made up of musical Pokemon, because there's Wigglytuff, which is of course in the Jigglypuff family, maybe the most famous musically based Pokemon. There's Chatot, which is of course musically based. Its head is a music note, and its tail is a metronome. There's Chingling and Loudred, also in the leadership. And Krogunk, which is known for its loud croaks. I thought that was interesting. I wonder if it was sheer coincidence, or if they were sort of thinking of a musical arrangement of Pokemon when they put it together. I might be thinking about it too much. I've been in quarantine for a long time, so... These are the things you think about when you've been in your living room for 365 days. Alright, here's Loudred's little head. There we go. Chatot in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is basically Zazu. Yes! He really is, isn't he? So funny. There we go, and then we need to get these little... This can be a little ticklish here. Getting these tiny little strips of blue that are just tucked in between. There we go, and we can do this now because the green paint has had enough time to dry. So if we had not waited long enough for that to dry, you'd be seeing the green and blue seeping all together. Wigglytuff's guild theme intensifies. Oh man. Okay, so Loudred's arm is kind of back here behind Meloetta. So we'll fill that all in. Looking good. And, oh yes, of course, the outline of his big ol' speaker ears. There we go, leaving room for Chatot's cute little feet. I'm not a huge fan of Loudred, but I just felt like it would be really unfair of me to not include it in this picture because it's such a well-known noisy Pokemon. Some other considerations that I had were Audino, of course, Noibat and Noivern. Oh gosh, who else did I have on here? Oh, the Toxtricity family is very musical, of course. The Zigzagoon, Lionune, and Obstagoon family from the Galar region, very musical. But you know, there's just only so much space on here, so I had to pick Pokemon that went well together. There we go. I've woken up in the body of a Pokemon. Oh hey, here's a job I can do, pretty much. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, Toxtricity's great. Hey Nikau, how's it going? I'm glad you found your way here. I think I'm still hosting the wrong channel on my Twitch, so I'm hoping people will meander their way over here in the due course of time. Alright, sweet. In fact, let me just go rehost to the right channel right now. I can fix that really quick. Boo, 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 boo. 1 second. Host VGM together 2. There we go. That's more like it. Thanks for waiting, gamers. Thanks, Sab Irene. Toxtricity is a wonderful Pokemon. That was a great one. When I played through, I tried to give myself as blind of a playthrough as I could, but of course there were some Pokemon that I just accidentally saw on social media. But Toxtricity was not one of them, so I was very surprised when I evolved the little baby, I think it's Toxel, and got sort of a grungy punk rock bass player. Very fun surprise. Okay, so Maractus has little pink flowers on the end of its ears. By the way, I'll probably be finishing this painting later tonight on my usual stream, so if you want to drop by my channel, I'm sure the VOD will be on there for a while as well, because I'm certainly not going to be able to finish it during this little panel today. So if you're interested, and you can also follow me on Twitter if you want to see the final image posted later on. That's TRULYAVAPOREON on Twitter. I promise that's the only plug I'll be doing. Alright, Maractus also has a pink mouth, so I'll go ahead and block that in right now since I'm here. And you know what? Since I have the pink on my brush, I'm just going to do everybody's mouths, because they all have pink mouths. There we go. Oh, thanks, Nightbot. Wow, Nightbot plugged the heck out of me, jeez. Aren't you a handy little bot? Alright, let's see. And we've got Chingling's mouth. And Jigglypuff's mouth. Chingling has an interesting mouth. I had to look quite hard to find reference images of it with its mouth open. It has like a totally black mouth because it's like the inside of a bell. With just sort of a little pink center. It's kind of interesting. Alright, looking good. Oh, thanks, Nikau, no worries. Philip said, why is there someone drawing Pokemon? I thought this would be a stream of someone playing electric guitar. You'll have to imagine it, Philip. If you want to see streams of people playing electric guitars, you should check out all of the other amazing panels and performances from VGM Together over the weekend. There we go. Okay, we've got lots of pink in this one. Thanks, Only Tuatora. Is there a Pokemon you think could nail music but isn't shown to do it much? Oh man, I feel like Toucannon could be like an awesome, what's the word for that? You know those huge drums? I should know this. The huge drums they use in orchestras, where they just go like boom, boom, boom at the end. I feel like that's the one. Oh man. Toucannon can make some really good booms. Scorbunny stepping on the drums. Hey Crarion, how's it going? This is a special panel that I'm doing for VGM Together, which is a really cool event that went all weekend. It's almost over, sadly. All about video game music and the video game music community. So I was invited very kindly to do a little panel where I paint watercolor Pokemon, and this beautiful soundtrack was put together for me by Nick's Mad Science, who's in the chat right now. I just realized I forgot to do Maractus's head because I was dealing with updating the Twitter link at the moment. Sorry, Maractus. There we go. So I'll still be doing my normal stream tonight at 6:30 Pacific time, but to finish this off, but we're starting it on stream here. There we go, that looks better. Poor Maractus. So neglected. There we go. Looking good. So you may notice that watercolor has a tendency to dry a little bit differently than it looks when it's wet, so that's something you always have to keep in mind when you're working with this medium. I think Machamp would be a ridiculous percussionist. Oh man, that's so true, Danny. Modding for Doug taught me way more about percussion instruments than I ever thought I would know. Machamp with his 8-mallet technique. I want a picture of Machamp playing 8-mallet marimba now. Every time I see Maractus, I always think how underrated it is. Hey Sangot, how's it going? It really is, isn't it? Maybe it's because its stats aren't very good, or maybe it's because it really isn't, it's not in a lot of the games. I'm trying to think where you can find Maractus. You can find it, in the desert area, of course, in, the game in which it was introduced, which is Black and White. I couldn't remember the names, I was buying myself time. In Black and White, you can find it in the desert, and then I think you can find it in Sword and Shield? Are there any other appearances of Maractus in the main series? I can't think of any. I think it's one of those Pokemon that could really benefit from having either an evolution or I don't know, an ability change or something like that. It needs a little boost. It's certainly not bad, but it's kind of middling with those stats. And grass-type Pokemon are already at such a disadvantage in terms of their type advantages and disadvantages, so kind of a tough sell. I've played so much Pokemon in my life that pretty much the only way I play Pokemon anymore is I do run-throughs of the game with first stage Pokemon, or Pokemon that cannot evolve. And I strongly recommend that to anyone who feels like they've just been playing this game too long and it's super stale and it's not fun anymore. Just try playing with Pokemon like just keep your starter, just have Score Bunny the whole time. And that'll really up your difficulty. It's a blast. So Maractus is great for a run like that if you want a Pokemon that doesn't evolve but also doesn't have very good stats. I've discovered a lot of Pokemon that I've come to love that I never thought I would. Oh, Anastar City. This is a beautiful one. Great song and a great cover. It's very moody. There we go. We got Chingling's little cloth ears. Looking good. Let me catch up on the chat. I've certainly fallen behind here. Hang on. Hitmonlee would be a wild break dancer. Hey Fish, how are you? Good to see you. If 6 Pokemon fun to band, which 6 Pokemon would it be, and what would each play? A great question. I feel like this is more than 6 on this page. I like to think Slowpoke is a hidden voice. They just miss auditions. Oh man. Areola with perky ears or floppy ears? Oh, floppy sounds adorable. Just noticed the Pokemon you're drawing are all music or sound themed. Awesome. Yes, they are, Karion. I fit in as many as I could. Anastar's one of my favorites. Me too, Sabarine. Nick's Mad Science says I tried a Sword and Shield Nuzlocke once, and 30 minutes in I was like, nope, I can't keep my stupid Zigzagoon alive. Oh man. Dunsparce, the real MVP. It's a very cute Pokemon. I'm a fan. Okay, I think next we can do Meloetta's... Hey Trakami, how are you? We can do Meloetta's sort of pop star getup. She's got a little earpiece. So we'll get sort of a... I don't use True Black for these because I find it's a little bit overpowering. So I'm mixing it right here with a little bit of navy blue to get this sort of soft pastel... I guess it's like a navy gray color. And then if we find it to be too weak, as the painting goes on, we can always add more black to it, but we can never take black away. Or really any color. The darker you go, the more difficult it is to fix it if it's too dark. So I like to start with a little bit of caution and go from there. There we go. We've got her little earpiece. Looking good. Which version of Meloetta do you guys like better? I was really torn trying to pick which one to feature in this scene. I ended up picking the green-haired version, the singer rather than the dancer, just because I thought that her color palette goes a little bit better with the Pokemon that are in this picture. But the other one is really cute as well. There we go. The arms. Thank you, Tank Top Tuba. I like your username. Half the Pokemon here are Wigglytuff Guild themed. I know, right? Dunsparce was a strong TCG card in one of its prints. No way, really? Yes, watercolor is fully subtractive. I like this one more than Pirouette form. Yeah, I like this one. There's no white in watercolor aside from the paper itself. True that, Nick's Mad Science. I do have a little, I don't know what to call it. A pro gamer tip. I use these pens. You guys probably won't see it because the stream is ending pretty soon, but I use these pens, the Uniball Signo White, They're basically an opaque white paint pen. And you can use this over dried watercolor if you need to add things like highlights or fix little mistakes. So that's kind of my workaround when I find myself in a bind because I've covered something up that I didn't mean to cover up. But for everything else, there's Photoshop, right? I use a lot of Photoshop. When I first started streaming watercolors, a question that I got a lot was like, how do I make it look so, not perfect, but how do I always keep things within the lines? And the answer is that I don't. It's just harder to tell on camera when I've made a mistake, and then I fix everything in Photoshop before I post it, so... Mistakes are always made. Watercolor gamer pro tip. Does watercolor stick to the white ink pen? As long as you wait for it to dry, it shouldn't. Like if this is wet right here right now on her little skirt, and if I were to try to put it on here, it would just make a gross mess and probably get my pen dirty. But if you wait for it to dry, it shouldn't stick at all. Okay, Maractus's dark green areas will come next. Oh, this is a beautiful cover. I forgot how nice this is. Oh, we've got like 10 more minutes. I better pick up the speed. Alright. We're gonna mix up this like navy green color. A really rich, deep green. Almost like a pine tree green. That way there's a lot of contrast with sort of the main green. There we are. You know, it's funny, I have this huge roster of brushes, as you may or may not be able to see. I think it's beneath the music player right now. But I really only find myself using one of them. I certainly have a favorite. I just like the comfort of having the other brushes kind of on hand, you know? There we go. I really like the cover of this song. This is a song that I didn't particularly like in its original iteration. Something about the sort of instruments they used in the game didn't work for me, but I love the way that this artist has covered it. It's got a lot more depth. There we go. I need to get some more blue on my palette. I'm running out of blue. Dragon Master says, do you do a lot of art demonstrations on your stream? My daughter would love it. Tutorials as well. Yes, I do art at least twice a week on my stream. Sunday nights and Wednesday nights. Sometimes it tends towards a little bit more tutorial-esque, sometimes it tends towards a little bit more just goofy and chatting and screwing around with the chat. I'm always available to answer questions during these streams, and I do a lot of talking about the medium and the way I approach it, so yeah, definitely send your daughter over. I'm sure she would enjoy it. We have a lot of fun. Alright. Got Maractus's little earses. There's one. The easiest brush to grab is the one in your hand. You're so right, Akemi. Whoops, looks like the music ran out. Well, I've got 5 more minutes, so I guess I'll just keep talking. You get to hear the music of my voice. What sweeter music could there be? Oh, man. I'm so used to, like, doing improv and joking around in comedy in situations where there's someone to bounce off of and to react to. So something that's been very interesting to me about streaming is the silence, you know? You have to assume that the people in the audience are hearing you and enjoying themselves. Sometimes all you can do is make yourself laugh, though. Senga says, improvise, Vap, you have to sing for us. Oh, you wish. The dulcet tones. Hum your favorite Pokemon tune. Accidentally thought I gave you like 10 extra minutes. Oh, that's okay, Nick's Mad Science. No worries. You could play a certain instrument. No, Trikami. You know what? Yeah, why don't I restart the mix? That's a great idea. It's such a great mix. There we go. It should be restarting in just a second. Danny says you're reacting to a lot of people, to be frank. Reacting? Like, talking with the chat? I'm always very, very chatty with the chat. This will surprise nobody to hear who's been around for my streams, but, I got in a lot of trouble when I was in school for just talking too much. If I was sitting next to anybody, I would talk to them, you know? Because I just think people are very interesting, and, so this resulted in many, months of school time where I was at a desk at the front of the room all by myself because there was just no stopping me. I feel bad for my poor teachers. They tried very hard to not be too harsh on me, but oh man. Same, says Ian Drum. Same, says Tank Top Tuba. Oh man, we're cut from the same cloth, my friends. The same troublesome cloth. Let's do Loudred's sort of mouth area next. This first song is a little bit quiet, but it should pick up in volume as we go. The fragrance of dark coffee is rating with a party of 4. Hello, fragrance of dark coffee. I love your username. And thanks so much for rating. Ian Drum says, I have students who do it now, and I called my teachers to say, yes, I'm sorry. Oh, no. That's real karma, right? Sangat says, I was the opposite. I barely talked. Danny says, I get wanting to take control of a class, but forced isolation is kind of a lousy way to do it. I know. I can't hold it against them, though. It is a little harsh, but I was truly just unstoppable. I don't know what else to say. I couldn't be contained. Alright. For the Raiders, we are painting musically themed watercolor Pokemon set to a beautiful soundtrack put together by Nick's Mad Science, featuring covers of famous songs from the Pokemon series. It's all Pokemon all the time here. So Chimecho has little yellow eyes and a little yellow doodle bobber on the top of its head. There we go, looking good, Chimecho. Nope, we're almost out of time here. We got just a couple more minutes. I'll see if I can get a couple more details done here, and then like I said, I'll be finishing this on my usual stream tonight at 6:30 Pacific time if you guys want to dip by or check out the VOD later. It should be fun. These pictures are always cool when they start out, and then they look kind of butt ugly for the whole middle section, and then at the very end they all of a sudden come together, so it's the magic of art. Alright, Loudred has sort of a big hippo mouth. And the lower lip. There we go. Beautiful. Sangat says the vap just had to yap. Sorted Spiral says looks fantastic. Thanks, Sorted Spiral. Glad you like it. There's the bottom of Loudred's foot. I think that's everything yellow. No, we need to do Chatot. Chatot also has some yellow. I remember once even, me and my best friend in 5th grade, or my best friend and I, got sent to the principal's office for talking so much during class, and the principal wasn't ready to see us right away, so we had to sit at these desks sort of in the principal's office near the secretary and wait to go in, and while we were sitting there, we got in trouble again because we started talking again, and my dad thought that was so funny. He wasn't even mad at me because he got a call from the principal's office and they told him the story. He was like, wow, that's really something. So that's what I mean when I say I was unstoppable. Nudge says, I don't know what it's like to talk too much. Right, everyone? I'm quiet, right? Absolutely, Nudge. I don't know you well enough, so I'm just gonna agree with whatever you said. Whatever you said is right. Alright, looks like it's about time to switch over. What should I do, Tex? Do I just end the stream? Is it that easy peasy? Do I keep talking? What would you like me to do? There we go. Give us an outro, says Super MC Gamer. Alright, thank you so much for coming, everybody. It was a pleasure. I'll be finishing this on my stream tonight, or you can follow my Twitter and check out the final results later. Thank you so much for hosting me, VGM Together. Special thank you to Drum for always being such a cool friend and a supporter of the arts. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the panels tonight. That's all I got. I'm gonna have a big snack. Very excited for my snack.